Hello students, today we will continue our chapter Human Capital Formation. What is the importance of human capital formation? Number 1. Effective use of physical capital. The growth and productivity of physical capital depends on the human capital formation. The physical capital can be created only by means of hard and intelligent work of human beings in the economy. Human skill and their efforts help in effective utilization of physical capital. Number 2. Higher productivity and production. Human capital formation raises the productivity and production as knowledgeable and skilled worker makes better use of the resources. Number 3. Inventions and innovations. Human capital formation leads innovations and creates ability to absorb new technologies. Education provides knowledge to understand changes in society and scientific advancement which facilitates inventions and innovations. Availability of educated labor force facilitates adoption of new technologies. Number 4. Modernization of attitudes. Knowledgeable, skilled, physically fit people are powerful instrument of change in the society. Economic development of a country depends upon the minds of the people and their changes attitudes towards creating a will for development. Investment in human capital helps in changing mental outlook and promotes development of the country. Number 5. Increases life expectancy. Formation of human capital raises life expectancy of the people. Health facilities and availability of nutritive food enable people to live a healthy and long life. Improves quality of life. Quality of population depends upon the level of education, health of a person, and skill formation acquired by the people. Human capital formation not only makes people productive and creative, but transforms the lives of the people. People start living and enjoying higher incomes and more satisfying life. Number 7. Control of population growth. Educated persons have smaller families as compared to illiterate families. Now we will discuss problems of human capital formation. Number 1. Insufficient resources. The resources allocated to the formation of human capital have been much less than the resources required. Due to this reason, facilities for the formation of human capital have remained inadequate. Number 2. Brain drain. People migrate from one place to another in search of better job opportunities and handsome salaries. It leads to the loss of quality people like doctors, engineers who have high caliber and are rare in the developing country. Cost of such loss of quality human capital is very high. Number 3. High growth of population. Continuous rise in population has adversely affected the quality of human capital. It reduces per head availability of facilities. Yes, lack of technology. In respect of education, the performance is particularly unsatisfactory in the field of science and development of modern technology. Lack of proper manpower planning. There is an imbalance between the demand and supply of human resources of various categories. especially in the case of highly skilled personnel. Absence of such balancing has resulted in the wastage of resources. Yes, friends, what is the difference between human capital and human development? Human capital is a comparatively narrow concept. Human development is broader concept. Human capital considers that health and education are the best means to improve the productivity of the labor force. Development considers that health and education help in the overall development of the individual. As a healthy individual with proper education can take decisions that will help them lead a happy and healthy life. Human capital. In case of human capital, health and education are not useful as long as they do not result in improved productivity. Human development considers that human welfare is increased by having good health and proper education, even if they do not result in any improvement in productivity. Yes, friends, now we will discuss human capital formation in India. Great prospectus. Need of government intervention. Yes, friends, we have discussed human capital formation is the outcome of investment in education, health, on the job training, migration, and information. Out of all these elements, education and health are very important source of human capital formation. We know that ours is a federal country with a union government, state government and local government means municipal corporations, municipal committee, gram panchayats. The Constitution of India mentions the functions to be carried out by each level of government. Accordingly, expenditure on both education and health are to be carried out simultaneously by all three tiers of the government. Education and healthcare services create both private and social benefits. Yes, friends. So, there is a need of government intervention. The expenditure on education and health assume great importance on the formation of human capital. Number one, expenditure on education and health make substantial long-term impact and they cannot be easily reversed. For example, if a child is admitted to a school or healthcare center and required services are not provided in such institute, then substantial amount of damage would have been done before the decision is taken to shift the child to another institution. Individual consumers of the services do not have complete information about the quality of services and their cost. Number three, providers of education and health services may acquire monopoly power and may get involved in exploitation. So the role of government is important to ensure that the private providers of these services other to standards stipulated by the government and change the correct price. Regulatory authority in education. In India, the ministries of education at the union and the state level, departments of education and various organizations like National Council of Educational Research and Training NCERT, University Grant Commission UGC, and All India Council of Technical Education AICTE facilitate institutions which come under the education sector. In health, ministries of health at the union and state level, Departments of Health and various organizations like National Medical Commission and Indian Council of Medical Research facilitate institutions which come under the health center. Yes, students, basic education and healthcare. In a developing country like India, with a large section of the population living below poverty line, many people cannot afford to access basic education and healthcare facilities. Moreover, a substantial section of India's population cannot afford to reach super specialty, healthcare, and higher education. Furthermore, when basic education and healthcare is considered as a right of the citizens, then it is essential that the government should provide education and health services free of cost for the deserving citizens and those from the socially oppressed classes. Both the union and state governments have been stepping up expenditure in the education sector over the years in order to fulfill the objective of obtaining 100% literacy and considerably increase the average educational attainment of Indians. So our government has announced the new education policy. Thank you.